Well, first off, I want to thank the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, the staff, all the volunteers, everybody that's been involved. It's been an unbelievable 8 days for us. Hospitality, the living conditions, practice facilities, the police escorts, bus, food, just everything has been awesome. And I know that's easy to say when you win, but that would have been said win or loss. As good a bowl experience as we've ever had. Just the people here have been awesome. It's a beautiful place here in the Valley of the Sun. I also want to say congratulations to Stanford. And I mentioned this this morning when I spoke to a group of alumni, Oklahoma State alumni at the hotel, that I had some concerns coming into this game after I had an opportunity to spend time with their coaches and watch how their players handled themselves. They do it with a lot of class. And we try to pride ourselves here at Oklahoma State on class and values and doing the right thing, and I feel like that contributes to success and winning football teams. And when I found out Stanford was the same way, it made me a little nervous. And I think they proved in both teams, we knew coming into the game it was going to be an unbelievable game. 4 weeks ago, when we found out we were playing Stanford, I had made the comment that I thought that the nation would be as interested in our game as any game during the bowl season, and that it would be a tremendous game because you have two very talented teams. You have two teams that can move the ball and score points, and you have two defenses that are better than what people think. So it was great for everybody involved. When there's a game like that, you hate that there has to be somebody to lose. But I can't say enough about our players and their ability to come back, to fight through adversity. Our assistant coaches continued to coach hard. The attitude and the body language of our players was tremendous. The things that we pride ourselves on are during the game, if you make a mistake, don't worry about it, make another play. And so when we got down by 14, or when we dropped a pass, or we made a mistake, or gave up a big play, nobody flinched. They continued to play hard, and that's proof of the leadership of some of these young men sitting at the table. And I said it on the field, and I want to say it again, that this group of seniors has won 41 games in 4 years, and I don't care what league you play in, and I don't care where you play. That's extremely difficult to do. And so I can't say enough of how proud I am for Oklahoma State, how proud I am for us to have 35,000 or 40,000. I don't know how many people we had there, but there was a lot of people wearing orange, and they were tremendous, and they were loud. So it's a group effort. The success that Oklahoma State has had is a group effort, and I'm just thrilled to death to have the opportunity to be here and be the head coach.
Questions, and please identify yourself.
Jim Gentonia from the Arizona Republic. Mike, you've seen Justin now for 3 years. Does he ever surprise you still at the things he does?
Has he ever what?
He still surprise you at what he does on the field?
No, he doesn't surprise me because I've seen him do it so many times. And I did say this at the press conference 3 days ago that I've resisted in saying that he was the best wide receiver to play at Oklahoma State. But it was due, and I said it 3 days ago, and he is, bar none, to make big catches in crucial situations and then make plays with the ball in his hands when the other team knows he's going to do it. It's pretty amazing, especially when the teams roll up on him like tonight. Stanford's game plan, other than blitz, was to roll up and play a guy down on him and a guy over the top. And he still finds a way to get open and get the ball, and the quarterback finds a way to get it to him.
Okay, on the aisle.
Coach Gundy.
Wait, here in the aisle.
David up at ESPN.com. How does this win for you compare to the win over Oklahoma?
Well, they're both very special. I think we had to have one to get to the other. Obviously, we would have never been here if we didn't beat Oklahoma. But the Oklahoma win was really special because our team had won the first time outright conference championship basically in the history of the university. But now to come into a game and play a very, very good team. When you get to the top 3 or 4 or 5 teams in the country, I think Stanford can play with anybody in the country on any given day. I think LSU and Alabama and Oklahoma State are in the same category. So it's a very special win, but obviously we couldn't have we couldn't have had this one without getting the first one.
Right here in the front.
Coach Gundy, Bob Berry, Oklahoma City, KFOR. You win 12 for the first time, Big 12 title for the first time, BCS Bowl game for the first time. Feel pretty good about your contract negotiations here in the next week or so?
Well, we'll hold that off till later, but, you know, there's been a lot of talk about the contract, Junior, and there's just a lot going on right now, and I'm confident in Oklahoma State, and we're in some uncharted waters right now, and so I know that they just want to make sure they're doing the right thing, and I'm trying to do the right thing for my family and our coaches and everybody involved. So I'd be very surprised if we don't get that taken care of pretty quick.
Okay, way in the back.
Yeah, Coach Gundy, Chris Lincoln with ABC in Tulsa. Coach, the impact of this season, not just for this team, but as you look to the future of OSU, where does this take this program? Is it ready to sustain itself at this level now?
Well, we hope so. And our challenge to the young men that are coming back on our team is to continue to play with great effort, play for each other, all the things that we talked about for what would be 5, 6, 7 years now, discipline, structure, and accountability. There'll be some new faces. When you change as many skill players on offense as we're going to change, somebody else has to step up. But I will say that I'm very confident that we have young men in our program that will step up and make plays, and will continue to play at a high level.
Did you ever consider letting them score at the end? It was about 40-some seconds. They were in field goal range, letting them score so you'd have time to get the ball back to do something?
No, they were too far out, and so the discussion was whether to try to use timeouts, but we decided to let them run it down because we didn't want them to run any more plays to get closer. We wanted the field goal to be as far away as possible. When you're under 1 minute, and we had already burned 2 timeouts, we can move fast and do some things, but it'd be very difficult to move down the field that fast without any timeouts.
Mike, would you just make a quick remark on what you saw from Andrew Luck tonight and the kind of a quarterback he is?
Well, Andrew's a special player, and I think what made this game really neat was the offensive firepower on both sides. And you had 2 future NFL quarterbacks, and there's a lot of talk about Andrew Luck, and I don't question anything that people say about him. He played as good as he could have played tonight. But we had a guy playing for us that was tremendous also. Started a little slow, but once he got going, boy, he can let it loose and make a lot of plays. And so, you know, I've said this throughout the year, and I'll say it again. I think you'll see both of those guys playing for years to come.
Way in the back to the right, Coach.
Mike, fans are obviously going to miss Justin and Brandon a ton, but your livelihood depends on guys like these. Does it bring a tear or two to your eyes to look to your right tonight and know that's the final game that these 2 guys are going to be with you? Well,
there's no question. A year ago at this time, there was talk about whether these 2 guys were going to come back. And so it was a celebration after the Alamo Bowl, and then there was concern because of the difference that these guys make on your football team. And I lay in bed every night and think about a lot of things, and one thing I think about is the seniors that we lost. And these guys made a ton of plays for us. I don't know who else is in here, but I think about not having Josh Cooper. Josh Cooper's a guy that catches 70-something balls every year. I think he leaves our program as the 5th all-time leader in catches, and nobody really talks about him much. You got Markel Martin, Jamie Blatnick, Rashedi Jones. There's just a lot of players on our lineman, Grant Garner, guy played with an ankle. He didn't practice all week for 8 weeks, and he goes and plays on Saturday. So it's difficult to let these young men go, but I have a lot of excitement for the future. And there's guys that are sitting up here with me, and there's guys that are in our locker room that are seniors that 3 years ago nobody thought would be making any plays, and they've made a lot of plays for us. So I said this after the game, and I really believe it. It's about the assistant coaches. It's about the system we have in place and the discipline, structure, and accountability, and the young men will step up and make plays.
Here in the front, Coach.
Myron Patton Fox again, Oklahoma City. You mentioned the slow start. Was that rust, you think, for not playing a month? And what did you talk to the guys about to get them going? Obviously, the second quarter it picked up.
I really didn't say much. These guys lead themselves. I thought our assistant coaches did a good job. We just started slow. Our tempo wasn't as good. I didn't feel like that they were really rushing the quarterback. They were attacking and just kind of holding ground and trying to defend, not let us pop the runs through there. And their safeties were playing back really high and trying to keep everything in front. So we just had to make some adjustments. And they had a good game plan. When we got at the latter part of the second quarter, I thought that the month of preparation really helped them because their style of offense is to line up and pound you and then throw it over the top. There's not a lot of trick involved. Our style of offense on a short week, a normal week where you get 2 practice days, at times can be really hard to prepare for, in our opinion. And I thought that they were very, very well coached with some of the things that they did. And in the back of my mind, I thought, the month probably helped them much more than it did us in stopping their attack compared to them stopping ours.
Here in front again.
Coach, 2 glaring stats. You had 24 less snaps than they did, and your team rushed for 13 yards, and yet you won the game. Does that surprise you on both counts?
Well, I think that would have surprised everybody. We knew coming in that they were going to use the clock, and that's the advantage of what they do. Now, if we get a couple stops, they hit, I think it was 3 big third downs on us, then your play total, I was just now looking at that, your play total ends up probably being about 68 to 65, somewhere in that area, because they extended those drives. But we didn't. They moved the ball and used the clock. And that's a considerable difference. That was one of the glaring statistics, 81 to 57. But the way they were playing allowed us to throw the ball more, and once we got into a tempo, we were able to attack the middle of the field.
To the right, Coach.
James Pullen Daly, Oak Legion. You've had a couple close games that went right down the wire, and tonight was no different. But I look over on your sideline, everybody's jumping around, everybody's celebrating, except for you, and you have that look on your face that's just calm and collective. Can you talk about your emotions in these late games, and how do you stay that calm in such a exciting time of this game?
Well, I have a lot of faith in our players and our coaches, and I feel like that I can function better and make decisions if I'm under control. And this sounds a little funny, but ever since I've been 4 years old, I've played some sport year-round. Went from one sport to the next. I've been in 1 million games and 1 million tournaments in baseball and football games and wrestling matches and just so many of them that this is a big, big game. Don't get me wrong, and I'm excited, but I just let them do it, and it allows me an opportunity to really think, and that's who I am. You can't change that. I mean, you can't really change who you are. So for whatever reason, my wife acts the same way. She says you get more upset if there's, the laundry in the floor than you do somebody kicking a game-winning field goal. I said, well, then we need to hire somebody to do the laundry. But anyway, I don't know. I just can't change who I am.